Welcome to a Legendarium special about the history behind Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina concerns the irresistible Anna, who had not known family life growing up, having been brought up by an aunt who married her off to the considerably older Alexei Karenin. Anna never really felt like she found happiness with her cold husband and ultimately abandons him for the dashing Count Vronsky. While this brought her brief happiness, being separated from her children and becoming a social outcast drives her to misery. Though Count Vronsky tries to be all things to her, she commits suicide by throwing herself in front of a train when she becomes convinced he will eventually tire of her. The second plot in the book depicts the landowner Konstantin Levin, who loves, loses, and then finally marries Kitty Sherbatsky. Levin struggles to find the meaning of life, but finds it in family and the church. Many details of the Levin-Kitty romance are lifted directly from Tolstoy's own courtship, including a shirt going missing just before the wedding. Leo Tolstoy himself struggled with creating a family. The youngest of four brothers, he always wanted to be a writer. However, he also inherited a large family estate and became a great landowner. He crankily opposed romantic love, and only after much procrastination at the age of 34 did he marry 18-year-old Sonia Beers, and then he raised 8 children with her. Only a few years after his marriage, Tolstoy published his most famous novel, War and Peace, about Russia's war against Napoleonic France. For inspiration, Tolstoy drew upon his own experience as an artillery officer during the Crimean War. After this great success, Tolstoy chose to write a novel about Peter the Great. However, Tolstoy failed to create any natural characters in this distant historical era. In 1873, Tolstoy accidentally came across a volume of Pushkin's Tales of Belkin while trying to start the Peter the Great novel. He read and reread the tales and became inspired to write a novel about family life in his own time, using Pushkin's swift and direct style. During the years following his marriage, Tolstoy became troubled by radicals who criticized the institution of the family. Such free thinkers called family a backwards limitation on individual freedom that exploited children as cheap labor, the latter being often true in serf families. It is telling that Levin, after grappling with the meaning of life for so long, understands what he must do when one of his serfs tells him that happiness is only found in living a godly life. In contrast, the free thinkers who Tolstoy opposed lead Anna to ruin. Early in their relationship, Vronsky and Anna mingle with a free-thinking clique led by Vronsky's cousin Betsy Tverskaya, and this helps lead them to their illicit romance. About 10 years after marrying Sophia, Leo Tolstoy began writing Anna Karenina. It seemed a throwback to the family novels popular during Tolstoy's youth that had since fallen out of fashion. While the novel is candid about the difficulties of family life, and every family depicted in the novel endures quarrels, nonetheless, the novel portrays family life as a source of comfort and happiness, giving meaning to one's life. Anna destroys a family and dies in misery, whereas Levin creates a family and ends the novel happily. Anna's life loses meaning while Levin's gains it. On that note, Anna Karenina is one of many women in Russian literature who murder themselves over love. In most Russian novels, the women drown themselves. However, Tolstoy found inspiration in the tragic death of a 32-year-old unmarried woman named Anna Pirogova. Her lover, A.N. Bibikov, proposed to another woman after seducing her. To take revenge on Bibikov, who was also Tolstoy's neighbor, Anna Pirogova threw herself under a train. Tolstoy even attended the autopsy of Pirogova's corpse in the local anatomical theater. Trains hold a special significance in the novel, for they are a symbol of the drastic change turning Russia from a rural backwater into an industrial power. Tolstoy dreaded Russia changing from a rural to an urban society, fearing that bringing in Western ways and technology would erode the country's moral character. The fact that Anna meets her lover Vronsky on a train platform and ultimately dies under the wheels of a train reflects Tolstoy's opposition to modernism. Anna Karenina was originally published in serial form from 1873 to 1877 in the Russian Messenger. Tolstoy's publisher fought him on the 8th section, which covered Levin and Kitty's marriage after Anna's suicide. The publisher thought continuing the story after Anna's suicide unnecessary, and he also feared censors would object to Tolstoy's criticism of a Russian-backed war in the Balkans. This led to the book's first publication as a novel. In Tolstoy's time, critics dismissed the novel as a trifling romance of high life. Yet Tolstoy's fellow authors heaped praise upon the book, Dostoevsky calling it a flawless work of art, and William Faulkner calling it the best book ever written. Posterity has agreed with them, for Tolstoy's Anna Karenina has generated 4 ballets, 6 stage plays, 10 operas, and 16 films. English-language versions include a 1935 black-and-white film starring Greta Garbo, and the most recent 2012 film starring Keira Knightley. That wraps things up for this episode of The Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.